President Donald Trump has asserted that the United States is facing potential economic catastrophe should the Supreme Court rule against the tariffs he previously imposed during his time in office. A statement sparking renewed debate about trade policy and its potential impact on American prosperity. The original tariffs, largely aimed at China and other key trading partners, were implemented to address perceived unfair trade practices and bolster domestic industries. Critics argue that a favorable ruling for challengers of the tariffs could trigger a rollback of protections for certain sectors, potentially leading to job losses and decreased manufacturing output across the nation. However, proponents of removing the tariffs insist that they place an undue burden on consumers, increase the cost of goods, and ultimately harm American competitiveness in the global market. The stakes are undoubtedly high, as the Supreme Court's decision will have far-reaching implications not only for the immediate economic landscape but also for international trade relations and the future direction of American economic policy. Analysts suggest that the outcome could also embolden either further protectionist measures or a renewed push for free trade agreements, fundamentally reshaping the United States' role in the global economy. This comes as the world is already facing various other economic challenges, including rising inflation and supply chain disruptions, thus further raising anxieties regarding global economic stability. VXN has been closely following this developing story, and will bring you the latest analysis as it unfolds. Thank you for listening. Please follow or subscribe to get more updates from VXN News.
If we lost the case in the Supreme Court. They spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened. Okay? There wouldn't be a radio, there wouldn't be a television, there wouldn't be internet, there wouldn't be anything. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble, as they were for many years. That's why we owe $38 trillion. And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, you know, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. You know, we have more than, I would say right now, more than $18 trillion. The biggest number ever is a tiny fraction of that for any country. China, the United States, the biggest number ever. If you look at the past administration, Biden, he did less than $1 trillion in 4 years. We're over $18 trillion. By the time my first year ends, we're going to have over $20 trillion of investment coming into the United States. It's unheard of. We have AI factories. We're leading China by a lot. We have cars and, you know, car plants coming in by more than we've ever had built before. All of that would go away if we lose the tariff case. So all of it would go away. So they're not giving the right numbers. It would be an economic disaster. It would be a national security disaster if we lost the case in the Supreme Court. They spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened. Okay?